Hey there, fellow quilters, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, the Final School. Episode 13, A Corner Workshop for Quilted Beasts. I would like you guys to decide sort of the overarching short to middle term goal, and I'll talk about the benefits of them. That's not where the poll should be. There we go. So let's start with House Commons. The House Commons is going to require better windows, and the benefit of the House Commons will be a significant conviction boost for the students. Why this matters is when students are purposeless, meaning that they are out of things to learn, they do suffer a somewhat considerable conviction penalty occasionally, and boosting their conviction would help. Better staff dining. This was a temporary dining room. I intend to move it, but better staff dining would do the same thing for the faculty, boosting their conviction. We could try to train a mage to start making quilted beasts. What that would likely look like is offering an apprenticeship to either Foolish or Wishbringer, and then finishing their apprenticeship, graduating them, hiring them as staff, and then having them be the quilted beast maker. I can make some basic quilted beasts with the current staff I have now, because Macho has a Dark of 2, but like, that's it. Dark 2 doesn't really get me a lot of quilted beasts. I could also work on summoning a refining beast. I had mentioned last stream that the chrome bug would be really important, as would the bird. Both would be kind of important. Building a library and an archive. So a library and an archive would allow us to plinth relics for passive bonuses for the entire school, and a library would allow us to attune faster and also attune to a higher level relic so that lower level mages could use higher level relics, which could be nice. I could expand the greenhouse. We aren't growing very much in here. We're growing some ice flowers and gut berries. And honestly, that's not a lot of crops. And it would be good to have more crops, or my choice, or viewer's choice. So it is up to you. And it looks like you guys want me to train a mage to start making quilted beasts. That seems to be the popular choice here. So I am going to work towards that. Prep for quilted beasts. Alright, so let's talk about quilted beasts a little bit, because I hadn't really gone into them. The quilted beast research tree is down here, and the quilted beasts, what they allow you to do is they allow you to do like basic work. Where are they? Yeah, down here. They allow you to do basic work like cleaning, tending, chopping trees, etc. The very first thing we're going to need for that is a spindle. A quilt station is used to create quilted helpers that can perform jobs in the school. I am going to build a spindle, let's just say here for now, and I'll figure out a better spot for it. The other thing about quilted beasts is you craft them using dark magic, and some of the more high-level quilted beasts are going to require higher-level dark magic in order to do. Meaning that we need a high-level dark magician in order to make the better ones. So I do have the research in order to make the teaching station for the Dark Apprentice, but I don't have the resources, the void caps and the spore caps, and I'll talk about getting those in a minute. Void caps can be farmed at home. Spore caps have to be farmed in the fog. So the other thing that is important is most of the workshops, the benefit of the workshops is that you craft faster. Like a kitchen allows you to cook faster, right? Well, here's the big thing. The atelier allows you to have your quilted beasts live longer. It is the biggest bonus of a workshop. All the other workshop bonuses are just like, oh, you make it a little faster. It's really not a big deal, right? I mean, the highest level kitchen gives you a little conviction when you cook or whatever, but the quilted lifetime is massive. Having the amount that you have to recraft them is huge. So here's the thing. In order to make an atelier, we are going to need a room that has a roof. Some of the higher level objects require roof decorations. So for instance, the salle à manger requires rooftop decorations. The atelier requires rooftop decorations, so on and so forth. So we need to plan a building that fulfills the requirements, which is towered, meaning nothing left, right, or above, and has a roof. Easier said than done. So let's go ahead. And what I wanted to do is planned for that. So we're going to get the spindle up. The other thing I wanted to do is to put a storage chest next to the spindle, and you'll understand why in a minute. And we are going to work towards Quilted Beast. Now, here's the question. Between Foolish and Wishbringer, who do we ultimately want to keep? Right? We had previously voted to keep Foolish. Foolish is a C+, A+, B+, D+. And Wishbringer is an A for power. So Wishbringer is a more powerful mage. Now, there's a caveat here. The caveat is that Wishbringer also hates bitter rice meals. That's a scar effect as a result of being a Raven cultist. So they're harder to feed. Because right now, we basically only make bitter rice meals. So he has to be on a very special, like, gutberry carcass stew meal because he refuses to eat almost everything else. That's going to be a lot less of an issue much later on when we have even more complex meals that don't include bitter rice. But it's kind of annoying up until that point. So, which dark mage to make staff? We could do Foolish, Wish, or someone new. Now, the purpose of someone new is there might be an advantage to graduating Foolish and Wishbringer in order for them to, like, become relics. I can leave that up to you. The other thing I wanted to do is start attuning other relics that we have. Because we have a lot of students that could potentially attune relics. And I might as well just start getting these other relics leveled up. So that they're stronger, so that we can either smash them, or use them, or plinth them, or whatever. Is the Nature Dark combo still meta? Yes, I would say so. Generally speaking, the best combo is to have a Shattered Nature Mage, and if they can be Nature Dark combo, that's even better. The reason for Shattered is Shattereds won't get tangled in trapdoor vines, and they don't get itchy from spore caps, so they make for better nature mages as a result. So the true meta, if we're going to go for meta, would be at least a Shattered that has a nature of, like, let's say 4. And whether they multi-class into dark, you know, that's that doesn't matter as much, in my opinion. Plus, we don't necessarily need to be working towards a specific meta. I don't, it's not a big deal to me whether we work towards, like, perfect meta or not. I'm not playing on the hardest difficulty, so meta is not that much of a bother. So here's the spindle, and here's what we can do. We can do Quilted Haulers, Quilted Sweepers, but I don't have anyone with dark skill to do a repair, chop, mine, tend, or harvest. And these require Viscera, which is why I just queued up all the rats to be hunted, because I don't have a lot of Viscera. Now, what I want to do is, let's say we make until we have, like, 1 of each for now. And the way this works is your Quilted Carrier, you'll essentially sew up like a Quilted, and then they have a specific lifetime, and then when they die, they form a corpse. So here's the thing. Once they form a corpse, you can collect multiple... Is that still a thing, right? No, maybe it isn't. It used to be that you had corpses. I guess the game changed enough? Well, either way, we'll start with the 2 Quilted that I have queued up here. The Hauler and the Sweeper. But I would say more importantly is the crop tenders that you end up getting, because your students, you end up with, like, a lot of crops when you're trying to support a big school, and having automated crop tending is amazing. And you guys want me to make someone new as the Dark Mage. So here's the question. Previously, we had voted for Foolish to become an apprentice. Now, the caveat, however, is apprenticeships do cost Gnosis shards. So apprenticeships are best offered to someone that is probably going to become staff, unless we have tons of Gnosis shards and are looking for high-level relics. So in this case, I think it's probably best that we graduate them without apprenticeships, because the cost of giving them the apprenticeship is quite high, at least for us for right now. Which means Foolish is just going to graduate, as will Wishbringer once Wishbringer maxes out trials. So I will graduate Foolish in the morning. I might not immediately replace Foolish with another student, though, because we have a pretty big school. The other thing I wanted to do is, I believe Backroad Runner had Group Learner. So I'm going to change the schedule for trained students a little bit. I'm going to put them back on classes to help Backroad Runner get his Group Learner. And cheers. So this wall is to support the Mage's Tower, but it's also so that I can start farming Void Caps and do some other things as well. So get this bad boy built up, and then I'll build a Void Cap farming area. Alright, graduate. Foolish. And we'll have Avaka do it. I think, should the next mage be a gifted dark mage? Yes or no? So you guys wanted me to do Quilted Bees, but someone else, not Wish or Foolish. And Foolish created a drab chalice. Okay. Attunes with dark affinity, cannot become wet. And if plinth, dark mages can get bonus productivity. A chalice probably to be leveled up and then smashed. It is not a particularly compelling chalice or relic, so getting rid of it makes sense. Alright, looks like you guys do want a Gifted Dark Mage. So, let's... I don't have the materials for a Dark Wand 1, so I'll get a Dark... I got a Dark Wand 1. One of the reasons to summon in with a Dark Wand 1, and then upgrade it to a level 2, is there's a chance that the student that you summon in has a trial where they want to perform a ritual, and the ritual to upgrade your wand is really... It's kind of like a freebie ritual in that regard. So the plan is to put the quilted crafting room up here. So it just needs to be towered. And then it needs a lot of creep luxury. Now the thing about the creep luxury, that's like that's a big that's a sizable requirement. That's a lot of creep luxury. I kind of like the big spiky roof though. And then of course we're going to need to offer access to this room. Which I'll get around to. Do we have any quilted beasts? Yes. No, we don't. Alright, I'll raise the priority up and get them to do it. Alright, next question. Are we keeping Dife? In my opinion, Earth mages that are going to be best for tanking will have really high health and really high speed. Power is not too much of a factor, and mana is workable. So the question is, do we keep Dife? Do we staff Dife? Yes or no? Because if no, it's going to be just like graduation time. That's more or less the plan. Any of the mages that are done with all of their trials and have a level 2 wand can graduate, I would say. And then the next will be Darzan. Dewey Staff Darzan. So on and so forth. You see the pattern. Alright, in here, I did not mean to put in really anything. The Sun Shadow Nuts definitely should go back outside, so let's fix that. And you guys, I'm going to say we're not staffing them. Alright. Oh, there's a rat in the house. So, Dife, you are also going to get graduated. Sorry, I know you're here in chat, but it'd be like that. Let's graduate you away. And we do have the Dark Wand for the... So once the graduation ritual's done, I'll have Macho summon in a Gifted Dark to see if we're going to end up keeping them. Oh, we have a Fog Beast coming in. Trying to take over our kitchen. So there's a whole bunch of trials related to this Fog Beast that could be fulfilled. Kilgore wants to kill something strong. Wishbringer wants to defend the school. So we'll see about using this this fight for trial progress. Oh, this is not an easy fight though. A bunch of Hallowed ones, and they attack full front row and drain mana. The problem is, Wishbringer's not very... well... I'm gonna chance it. Wishbringer? Well, no, because they're resistant to dark. That'd be a bad choice. Badger, Avalka, Macho, Matic. Maybe Macho? They're weak to air. So I could do Kilgore. And he has a trial. And Macho is more powerful than Badger, so I'm putting Badger in over... or Macho over Badger. The Earth Shield will block AoE, yeah. So let's switch Kilgore and Maddox's position. So Maddox is tanking. Okay. They're a little hurt. They're only a third hurt. So it's not perfect, but it could be worse. And I definitely don't want... ooh, an Earth Skill cap. That's what Dife dropped. That is amazing. Alright, here we go. So we... oh god, they're lightning resistant. That was a bad choice. Well, I can Flame Lash one. That makes it a little easier. Ouch. Maddox like, I don't like this. I know, dude, I know. I'm just gonna start bolting them even though I do partial damage. Please crit. Oh, good, thanks. And let's have you use a potion. And I can always switch positions if he gets too hurt. I think he's holding up okay. We're like out of mana entirely. I have not been using efficient spells, so we're burning our mana pool. It's okay. A win's a win. We're gonna win. It's just, it's hurting a little, that's all. Oh my god, no one has mana. Because the hallowed ones are leeching, and there's so many of them that we just keep getting leeched to hell. 6 HP. Can anyone hurt it? Yeah, here we go. Alright. Kilgore got one of his 3 wins. We got a whole bunch of brain. I did say that after that fight, we were going to summon in a gifted student of Dark. And hopefully they become our Quilted Beast person. And then... medic. Instead of being in bed forever, I'm just going to have you drink some potions. And you can see why we need a Quilted Cleaner. Because we've had gremlins and oozes, meaning hauling and cleaning. So, the need for it is pretty clear. Alright, Dewey Staff, Darzan. And now Matic is... I'm just going to equip another one. What's his stats? Good question. So Darzan is a water mage. Has water 5 due to the damp relic, the tier 2 wand, and has nature 2 and dark 2 and air 2. Is BBCA, so decent stats. Hates using earth, just which is fine. Earth is not particularly high, and prefers eating in a room with Kilgore. Okay, the Quilted room needs 3, does not have an actual need for light, a specific light, so it needs creep luxury, a spindle, and to be towered with roof decorations. So I'm going to have to start researching roof decorations. Let's see if 2 small windows will illuminate that area. And you guys do want to staff Darzan? What? Darzan doesn't have food. Avalka? Start cooking. Actually, Darzan was, and here is our new Dark Mage. Victor. C health, C speed. Probably not the gifted one we're looking for. But I'll have you guys vote on that. A huge mana pool, though. Absolutely ridiculous mana pool. The problem is we used up most of our Nostra shards in that attempt. So, yeah, that's not great. And you guys do want to staff Darzan. So if you do want to staff Darzan, one thing we're going to want to research, because we're almost done with domesticated instability anyway, which is the spiral hedge and the anemone planner, is we're going to want the ability to make him an apprentice of water. So where is the water apprenticeship? here. Poured on. There it is. And I need 10 ectoplasm for that, which I don't currently have, but that's easy enough to refine. Don't I have a dark room? This dark room is not tall enough for void shrooms. So, yes, but it won't work. Alright, Valka, you are famished, eaten. There we go. Now I also mentioned that we wanted rooftop luxury, or rooftop decorations, in order to fulfill the atelier. I don't have sculpstone. I think probably because lightning rods I don't believe count as rooftop decorations, because they're not decorations, they're utilities. I won't be able to have access to any of the rooftop decorations that we can make. So, rooftop decorations, what are they specified as? I can't search for it. So, like, wind chimes, no, that's not true. It would be like gargoyles. Rooftop, okay. Rooftop. Yeah, you can't search for it. So, rooftop decorations, this requires sculpstone, which I don't have. This requires a ton of resources, which I don't have. I don't believe there's any, like, low-hanging fruit freebies that I would gain access to easily. So that's probably going to be the bottleneck. Like, generally, roof spikes are kind of the cheapest to do. But even then, I don't have the thorn tooth. I could try to farm the thorn tooth, but I don't have the thorn tooth to even make that. So, the quilted room is going to be probably just a, oh, it's not lit enough. It's probably just going to be a workshop for a while until I have the resources needed to, you know, go all the way. Make it a proper crafting room for quilted beasts. The other thing is I don't have access to a ton of, like, creep luxury. Like, I can do occult small rugs for, like, 1 a piece. But obviously I'm going to run out of floor space before I get my creep luxury up high enough for it to be effective. So, for now, this will just have to do. Is a chimney a decoration? No. Again, it's utility. So it's a workshop. That's fine. Stop it, you ooze. Alright, priority, break fire, emergency clean. So that stops happening. Question, do we staff Victor? And also, let's do a raffle. I forgot to do a raffle when Victor came in. So raffle timer's up for Victor as well. So again, Victor, as a dark mage, what's important to note is, like, when they're just responsible for crafting quilted beasts, their combat stats don't matter so much. But you can decide whether to keep them or not, if you'd like. Alright, Valka, it looks like we don't have any cooked food either. Okay, we just got domesticated instability. I'm not really sure why I was researching that, to be honest. But we have it. And now we're pivoting over to Poured On so that Darzan can become staff. I will have Breakfire do the highest priority emergency quilting so that we can actually get some quilted beasts. So it looks like this is going to be on hold for a while. And it looks like you do want to staff Victor. Okay. So the current goal right now is to prepare for a water and dark apprentice. There's also a possibility for multiclassing. So, question, should Darzan multiclass? So I want to talk about this a little bit. When you get your primary abilities high enough, so if you look at your combat spells, at level 6 water, we get flow level 3, which is more powerful. At level 7 water, we get concentrated drops 2, which is a more powerful version of concentrating drops 1. And then at level 8, we get the ultimate ability, Tsunami. So the reason I mention this is if you multi-class, generally speaking, it's very challenging to get up to level 8 because you're doing 2 schools of magic. It's possible with the right relics and a high level staff and all that, but it's a lot more rare to have an 8 that also has a multi-class. So if you multi-class Victor or Darzan, the likelihood of them being able to get their ultimate ability is lower. However, if we don't really intend to use them in combat, it's kind of a moot point. So Darzan, for instance, has a power of A, probably going to use in combat as a result. Victor has a power of D, probably not going to use in combat as a result. Meaning Victor could multi-class and probably not suffer that much, whereas Darzan probably shouldn't, but ultimately I can have you guys decide. So you can choose. And now we have the carrier and the sweep. So here is the carrier, moving around, moving things to where it needs to be. And then the sweep should be cleaning up. Yep, and sweep's in the kitchen cleaning up. Perfect. And if Darzan's not multi-classing, what we need to do is we need to get Spore Caps and Void Caps in order to make the Dark Apprentice portal. Oh, and Backward Runner just got Group Learner, so schedule. Trained students are now going to recreate and task. After we get poured on, I would like to work towards rooftop spikes, as the Artillery was voted on. So you don't think Darzan is multi-class? Got it. Should Ken's DIY Ken's DA. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names. Multi-class. Which is the new Dark Mage that you guys wanted to keep. I'll probably just call you Ken's. Fog is looking scarily close. It's 5 days away. You can see it next to my head. And the current repel fog is Wormweed and Viscera, so I'm going to wait until it's even closer. So these little rooms are Void Shroom rooms. They're tiny, and they allow for Void Shrooms to spawn in them. I think what I'll do is I'll make another set of micro rooms, and the only one that could possibly have access to those rooms is Breakfire, who is unaffected by them. So putting little rooms like this is a great way to farm for that. There we go. Oh, wow, that pole is super bad. Hold on, I just realized what that said. Alright, you guys said yes to multi-class, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to upgrade 1 to level 2 to see if they have a certain affinity for multi-classing. Which means we're going to need a Dark Wand 2. And I am out of void caps, out of potions, out of recharging. Yeah, I know. Alright, we did just push back the void shrooms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly send Breakfire over here to harvest these things, because you have to harvest them at night. The spore shrooms, and that's going to allow us to make the dark portal. We also got a clouded crystal, which could have something very, very nice and important in there. And I think the battle crystals are probably too difficult because we don't have a good combat group. I'll put the poll back up, just in case you guys didn't know what you're voting on, because like I had major typos that were embarrassing. So there's the multi-class thing again. And in terms of classes, if you're dark, there is more synergy going nature or water, because it's an adjacent skill, whereas there's a lot less synergy. So like if they multi-classed into nature, we would get +2 dark, +2 nature, or multi-class into water, +2 dark, +2 water. But as you can see, if we do an opposite class, it lowers our ultimate magic ability. So if we do like dark and fire as a smoke sorcerer, you know, we end up losing lightning and water. So knowing what their affinities are when they get a level 2 wand is probably best. Alright, at this point, I want to haul that stuff, because it's going to be tomorrow morning overtaken by the fog. And the spore shroom seeds are going to be really important, because we'll start, as soon as I get a little bit more wood, we can start planting them, so that we don't have to go all the way out to fetch it. Alright, so you think, yes, multi-class, got it. So we're going to wait for that level 2 wand, and then figure out what the multi-class can be. I am out of stone. All my stone to be mined is down here. Got it. Well, Springer wants to do a potion purist. Do I have any other trials? Creature comforter, dancing on my own. Oh, dancing on your own is going to be really easy to do. Scavenger, just dance at this enchantophone. GMD wants to comfort creatures, and then you want a solo dine. So I'll just have you eat in the middle of the night. You want a rested learn and dancing queen. So yeah, okay, we're working on the trials. And there's Scavenger's dancing on his own. Perfect. And now this enchantophone is no longer for students. We have a lot of them becoming fully trained. So Darzan's going to become an apprentice, as will Ken's. Question for Scavenger. Scavenger here is fully trained, fully trialed. Oh no, that's not true. I did want to do a Nature Wand 2. So we'll get the Nature Wand 2 up first. For yet another trial. So wormweed pods, wood, and potion to recharging. So the potion to recharging, I'm going to raise the alchemy station up a little bit, because we just have not been making potions. I think Breakfire is probably like... He's been asked to do all this stuff. I feel bad because he's just so busy. Alright, here we go. Working on the potions. And it looks like the potion that we want requires Viscera, so we'll need to hunt for that. And maybe what I'll do, Badger, because you're an apprentice, you are able to hunt. So I'm going to put it as a as an emergency, just so that we have plenty of Viscera for the potions that we're crafting. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, the final school, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you on next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow mages.